Hmm. Decaying dynasty. Had the wrong team here, didn't I? Alabama wins the SEC championship 27-24 over the Georgia Bulldogs. Now we wait to see who makes the college football playoff. Waiting for Cousin Shane, too. See how long he takes to get in here. But, man, what a game. And I had a feeling right out the second half if Georgia didn't score there, and they didn't. I didn't think they were going to win this one. And, man, I'm still a little stunned. I know I picked Alabama to win this game, but I didn't think it would be quite like this. Oh, $20 slob on that for a bit, bruv. I don't know what a bruv is, but I appreciate you, Afro Man, for the $20. I'll take it. No matter what insults you got for me. Maybe Cousin Shane's too. Oh, here he is. Here he is. I thought maybe that was too much for his heart to take, Garrett.
Hey, I've been trying to tell you this whole time, Mike. This is Alabama's year.
Man, what a game though. That was. I mean, this. You know, all jokes aside, this is the two best teams in college football, right?
Who would not pay to see this game again, Mike? That's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to be like Sankey and everything, but I want to see the best four teams going to the college football playoffs, and we just watched two of them play tonight, brother. I would love to see a round two of this one.
Right, and I don't care what they say, Shane. There's no way in hell you leave Alabama. I mean, that's to me.
Can't.
Let's not even hold a playoff if we're not putting Bama in it.
Yep.
And I got no problem. I don't know how it would happen, but I got no problem if they figure out a way to slide Georgia in here. Because you lose a 3-point game on a neutral field, I don't think that should eliminate you after, being undefeated for 3 damn years in a row. You know what?
No, and again, just what is going to pay? You got to think, man, this all boils down to money, brother. Do you want to see Washington and Florida State? Is that really going to sell all the tickets? Or is it Georgia and a Washington? Or a Georgia and a Florida State? You know what I'm saying? So I think when it's about getting paid too, and say what you want, SEC viewership has never been higher than it has been on that championship game. So, man, hell of a matchup. It came down the wire. I told you, last possession.
And what's your level of surprise that it actually came down this way, that Alabama won the second half, won the SEC championship? What's your level of surprise there, Shane?
Pretty surprised, Mike. I'm not going to say, going into this game, I told you the X factor would have to be Jalen and getting him rattled. And I never in my mind thought that Beck would be the one rattled. And there was a lot of dumb mistakes. I'm thinking about one in particular, that little scramble, where he ran into his offensive lineman. And if you watch the replay, the whole right side of the field is wide open. You watch that and you're like, man, if we had a Stetson Bennett here, or if we had our own Jalen, that may have been another first down, a continuation of that drive. So I was more frustrated, or I don't want to say frustrated, but surprised how rattled Georgia's offense was when things weren't going their way.
How about this, Shane? Did you see this? The decaying. Had the wrong team the whole time. You know what?
Oh, man, it's tough. It's tough. Now we're in a wait and see approach. I mean, how big are these two games coming up now? Florida State, and then you got Michigan. I mean, we really need to have one of them drop off. If not, it could get pretty murky here next 24 hours.
Both would be superb. Both would get both Georgia and Alabama in. You know what?
Yeah, maybe even Texas. You never know. So I mean that would be the move. Just Michigan getting their ass beat, and but I mean it's Iowa, and I'm not knocking Iowa. I haven't watched any of these since. I haven't ever watched Iowa except Tennessee played them, but
right.
But this Florida State game is very intriguing because, they went toe-to-toe with Florida Gators and still don't have their quarterback back, not going to have him. So who knows what's going to happen there. But I guarantee you right now there's a lot of SEC fans tuning into these games to see how they play out,
Now, moving on from just national championships, because they got to be top. But
yeah.
Is this the best win, you think, of Nick Saban's career, non-national championship win?
Well, I mean, it's up there. I mean, Maybe. I guess when you there's a lot of great games in Nick Saban's history, and I'm sure you can point to if you gave me time and a history book, I could probably go through and find a handful of great games that Nick Saban's been in. But it's important for how this season started to how this season ended. We went from his Saban lost his fastball to decaying dynasty to, just losing. I mean, it felt like it was about to implode. And then you're talking about adjustments throughout the season to go to play Georgia, a team that hasn't lost a game in 29 times. That's not easy to do. I mean, Georgia's loaded, brother. And not only did they beat them, I mean, I don't think it was ever really out of control. You know what I'm saying? So this was a huge win for Nick Saban and company for sure.
Right. And, we got a lot of Mizzou fans, Shane. We could sit here and say, is Alabama legitimate? They never beat Mizzou. I mean, they never beat Mizzou. You know what I'm saying? 10-win Mizzou here. Maybe Mizzou's the real champion. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, absolutely. I saw a couple of Mizzou fans up there. They already bought their tickets, so I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, I'm right there with you. If I'm picking the top four, I already told you, Mike. I want Mizzou, Ole Miss, maybe LSU. You could argue LSU and Alabama and Georgia. That's my top four. I'm not biased.
That's five, Shane. That's five.
I'm not biased, but I want to play in too.
Okay. Oh man, what a damn game! And I could not have been more wrong about Alabama. Just think about it, Shane. Getting physically dominated at home against Texas. South Florida was that we're talking about this game maybe being the best win of the Nick Saban era. That was the worst win of the Nick Saban era, was beating South Florida barely on. I mean, that team's piss poor. Yet to take that team to win the West, to win the SEC, hopefully go on to the college football playoff. And the only reason they keep Alabama out of the playoff is because they don't want Alabama to win the whole damn thing, which they would as soon as they get in. I mean, they're going to be the betting favorite to win the whole damn thing. But, man, what a remarkable turnaround in season. I can't think of another in-season turnaround because I'm trying to think of other champions. I mean, it's not, like 2019 LSU from 2018 was a big turnaround, but they had a full offseason, and I'm just trying to think. No one comes to mind, Shane, that started so poorly, that kind of rebounded in such a fashion. I mean, this is one hell of a. This is, I don't know. Yeah. I think it's crazy when people say it's the best coaching job Nick Saban's done, but it's got to be up there.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess you could argue some of those Florida games. Back in the day when Meyer was down there, they lost some in the season. You're like, what the hell, The infamous speech of Tim Tebow. I guess you could argue one of those, but yeah, I just think that Alabama just took some major steps forward this season, and these key games. If you're handing out an MVP, it needs to be that front four there at Alabama. I mean, they were just a damn brick house trying to get through. If you thought bread and butter was just turn the football around, hand it off, and Georgia's always going to get it 2 or 3 yards, that was not the case here. Kudos to that front seven, especially just the lockdown Georgia's running game,
Right, and again, Shane, no one wants to hear this right now. I mean, the game is, we can't undo it.
Yeah.
But we had questionable catch call that was not reviewed. We had questionable false start that was a field goal. So, I mean, these are the inches that if I'm Georgia, I'm sitting here expressing to the committee, hey, if this thing was officiated normally, you got to give us a break here. You put us in the field. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm totally with you, brother. I mean, how could you not review that catch in the second quarter, but then come out in the third quarter and stop momentum? You know what I'm saying? To review that one. I get it. I get the frustration, and I've heard the comments. Trust me, I'm a Vol fan, so I know all about this referee. And in fact, Mike, you got that toll-free number, because if you're a Georgia fan right now and you want to say your piece on why you should be in the college football playoffs, I think you should call this hotline, Mike.
Yeah, give us a ring, 615-965-5152. Toll-free call line, 615-965-5152. And this is from Nick Saban, Shane, right after the game.
Yeah.
I guess we wanted to prove all the naysayers wrong out there. Who's he talking about? Who has ever doubted Alabama and this mighty dynasty? You know what?
Not this podcast. Nope. Not a single one here. Oh. Hey, Mike, again, all it boils down to is, and it's going to be a talking point for the next day, is who gets in. And, again, I just think they made a case. I go back to, what was it, Alabama, LSU several years back. They played in the SEC. Was it Alabama? No, it was who was it in the SEC championship? And then they redid it. It was LSU and someone. Oh, shit, Mike, I can't think.
How long ago was this?
No. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was Alabama, LSU. It wasn't an SEC championship. They were both undefeated at the time. Mm-hmm. And then they ended up playing again in the BCS game, It was like 6-3 the first time. I can't remember.
Yeah. That was the BCS era. Shane, LSU won at Alabama. Then they rematched in the national championship, and Alabama whooped their ass.
Yeah, it feels kind of like that. Like, hey, you play this game again. You play it 5 more times, Mike. I can't tell you right now who would be the all-time winner of this series. So that's when you got 2 of the best teams.
Right. So, again, it's probably unlikely, Shane, unless we get some chaos here in these late games. I really do think Georgia's probably out. I think Alabama has to be in. But let's just hypothetical. The dream plays out, Shane.
Yeah.
Georgia makes it. Alabama makes it. They rematch in the national championship game. Mm-hmm. Who is Cousin Shane picking to win that football game?
Alabama. I've been riding this wagon the whole time, Mike. Absolutely, man.
I'll
Nick Saban's
pick Georgia. I'll pick Georgia there.
Oh, shit, man. So you think Georgia's out after this? I mean, barring a crazy upset in one of these late games, you think Georgia's out, Alabama's in?
I think Florida State losing is likely. But they need that. They need Florida State to lose. They need Michigan to lose, and they're like a 30-point favorite against Iowa. So, if I'm a Georgia fan, I'm the biggest Iowa homer there is out there. I think that's the only path to the SEC getting 2 teams into the college football playoff. They need 2 upsets here.
Well, now we wait. Yeah,
I mean this, and hell, even Alabama fans don't know that they're in. Now, we're going to be hearing the case all night long why they should, and we both agree they should. But if Michigan goes undefeated, if Florida State goes undefeated, Washington's undefeated, it's going to come down to, Shane, Texas, 1 loss Texas, just won the Big 12. 1 loss Alabama, just won the SEC. And, of course, they went head-to-head in Tuscaloosa. Texas won that game. So that's going to be the committee debate. It's fascinating to see, but I know we won't feel right if there's not an SEC team in this playoff. I can't imagine that's reality, but there's a lot of people saying it will be. So, I mean.
I say we burn it down, Mike. We march the streets and we riot,
Shane, if there's no SEC team in the playoff, what they ought to do is they ought to like book out the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
Just say to hell with the playoff. Let's not even watch the playoff. Alabama, Georgia, part 2 for the national. We'll just do our own playoff.
Can you do that? Can you do that? I think that's when you just like go against the curve here. No, I think old Walt Disney, his family's like, hey, we got to get this on TV somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I'm no idiot, So no, I think they got to make a tough decision, and they got to decide which SEC team goes forward. And how could you argue not giving Alabama that shot? Georgia had it, man. They had it locked up. Just needed to win this game, but that's why we play it. You know what I'm saying? And I hate that there were some questionable calls because I'm like you. Would it have looked different if this happened or that happened? But
right.
Fact of the matter is Alabama prevailed. So yeah, I say put them in. Put at least Alabama in, and then 3 of these other yahoos, and then You know, we'll play it. We'll play the game. You know.
Yeah, so I mean, man, what a epic championship here, Shane. I think we're running out of steam here. It's our third
Yeah.
live show. But again, if you miss, I mean, obviously, hell, everybody's seen it. Alabama wins 27-24 over Georgia. Biggest win here of the season, I think, in all of college football. And now our hands are in the commit. It's in the committee's hand. You know, you're going to do the right thing. You're going to put in the four best. Hell, if you're putting in the four best, put both of them in.
Yeah.
But if we're going to go one way or another and we're not going to put the four best, yeah, put in all these garbage teams. Let them play it out. But again, we can't have this playoff without one of these teams. And I think Alabama's got to be in. And hell, I'd put Georgia in just because they are one of the four best.
It's the toughest conference, man. Greg Sankey tells you. I mean, a third of the top 10 teams, 15 teams are in the SEC. We play better competition week in, week out. We're adding two more powerhouses in the SEC. This is the future. You know what I'm saying? And you can't penalize a team. I mean, look at Washington's schedule, man. Look at Florida State's schedule. I mean, it's just garbage. And then you're gonna have to get out here and like, well, this has got to happen, that's got to happen. It's like, why are you penalizing a team that goes through the SEC, wins an SEC championship? You got to put one of them in. So
Yep.
I'm with you. That's why I'm saying we need to riot. We need to fight tooth and nail, you know, and just give me a head start because it takes me a little while to get up there, you know. So just let me know where it's at. If y'all have any of those little Christmas Debbies, you know, just Christmas tree Debbies waiting for me, I'll be there.
All right, Shane. Appreciate you. Again, they're letting us know Saban. He's 5-1 against Kirby now. Greatest of
baby.
all time for a reason. Kirby Smart on the hot seat. Get his ass out of here. Let's fire him. I think the rest of the SEC would cheer that. Any closing thoughts as we one last time apologize for doubting Alabama off to at least should be off to the college football playoff. One hell of a win, and man, what a season! You know what?
Yeah, fantastic season, Mike. I mean, and it's not over. And we're not done yet. So tune back in Sunday. I guess we'll have us a recap. Or will we have? I don't know. Hell, I don't know. Whatever Mike does, follow him on Twitter. Have your notifications on because Mike's going to let us know where this journey goes next. But it's not over. SEC is not over. We still going to. I feel like we're going to have one in there. If not, we're going to have pure chaos, and I don't want to be a part of it, but I will be.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate each and every one of you for hanging out. We'll catch you on Sunday. Another live show with the playoff committee and the bowl prediction or actually the bowl assignments and all that. So it's going to be a busy, busy day on Sunday. Stay tuned to the channel and enjoy these games here on Saturday night.
All right. See you.